started it. I'm not embarrassed. It doesn't matter. But that is your primary thing, guys. You have to do a good needs assessment, okay? Given the conversations that I've had, the questions that I've asked people about, are you doing full fact finders? I don't believe it's happening. I just was on a little bit of a soapbox in our managers meeting, so here I am again. Soapbox hasn't gone away yet. Are you guys doing complete fact finders? Are you asking about everything from family to health to long-term care to income to life insurance to what is your primary focus for doing all of these things? Don't answer me because I don't want to hear anybody say yes if you're not doing it. If you are doing it, I applaud you. Okay, you're doing the right thing the right way. But my guess is at least 50% of the room isn't doing it. So, question I would simply pose before I go into annuities at all: why are you selling yourself short? Is there a reason for you to walk into a house and not gather as much information as you possibly can to make you as successful as you possibly can be to help your clients as much as you possibly can help them? Not the primary focus of what we do. Okay? I'll always bring it back to the doctor's office thing. You don't walk into the doctor's office because your ear hurts and you say, "Doctor, take a look at my toenail." Okay? It doesn't work that way. The doctor's going to ask you about everything, right? Your toenail might hurt, but if you're there because of your earache, if the doctor doesn't ask the questions, then you don't actually get the problem fixed, right? We've got to ask all the questions. Don't be afraid to ask about money. Please don't be afraid to ask about money. Just because you feel like maybe you don't have it, or maybe you don't have those type of investments, or you think that because that person was a bigwig when they were working that they know more about it than you do, wrong. Guess what? They don't have a license in what we do. Who passed the state exam to be able to do it? You guys did. I did. That means at some level somebody believes that you're certified, maybe certifiable, certified to be able to talk about these products, give advice about these products, point people in the right direction, create strategies. Okay? But if we're not asking the questions, forget all that. Okay? Fact finding. Complete fact finding. Okay? You guys really, I'd like to see a show of hands. If you're doing complete fact finders, how many people are actually getting shut down on a consistent basis when they get to the finance piece of the fact finder? Not a person in here. Okay? I just said it in the managers meeting, again I'll say it in front of you guys too. If that was the case, if we were doing full fact finders and nobody is shutting us down, then why is it that in almost every house that I walk into I find more assets than what I was there to go talk about? It's not because I'm any better than you guys. It's because I ask more questions. Okay? Ask the questions. They're written out. There's a list for you. You open it up every time you sit down. I hope. So do it. Get all the way through it, okay? I love the people that ask the questions. I love going out and writing annuities with new people. You had a great time writing an annuity with you. You. I've written several annuities with you. You. Written several with you. This is the idea. I want to help you guys make money quick, okay? And you guys are the net. I'm there to try to help you bring it into the boat, okay? Ask the questions. Give me some information to work with. If you need my help, I'm going to help you close it down. If you don't need my help, if it's not securities, come and talk to me. I'll give you the strategies about how to go back and sell. Okay? And you can ask. There's plenty of people here that have come and said, "I need your help with something." I say, "No, you don't. Go do that one on your own." Okay? I want you guys to learn how to do this. You're going to make a lot more money quickly. Now, Matt, you were specifically, and I'll just ask you because, like I said, I'm already shooting from the hip. Do you want me to go over the annuities that I'm writing for why?
I'd like to hear the top 3 annuities that you're talking about and why.
Okay. Top 3 annuities and why. Number 1, favorite first and foremost. And it's pretty awesome. In fact, man, I meant to bring it down. Is there anybody here? Schaefer, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Sorry, you already offered one, so I'm going to pick on that. Run upstairs. Let yourself into my office with that key. Sitting on one of the black chairs in front of my desk, there's a white envelope with the top ripped off. Take one of those pamphlets out of that, take it to John, have him make however many copies. Okay? American Equity Bonus Gold. This is my single favorite annuity product out there right now, okay? And what I'm having Matt go help me with is an article from Barron's. You guys familiar with Barron's? You ever heard of Barron's financial publication? Kind of like Forbes, only Barron's, okay? Number one indexed annuity sold in the country. American Equity Bonus Gold, okay? Now, I gotta warn you guys about the American Equity Bonus Gold. It is a 16-year contract. 16 years worth of surrender charges, okay? You gotta place it in the right house. Gotta make sure that we understand that this isn't somebody that's looking to make a little bit of money, turn around and buy a house 3 years from now. It will burn them, okay? And I actually had a very analytical client, I'd say to the nth degree, that I went and met with Kirk last week. The guy pulled up the reviews online about American Equity, and they were either A's or F's. I believe him. It makes sense. So people either love it or they hate it. Why do you think they hate it? They hate it because their agents don't tell them how it works and place them into a product that doesn't work for them. Guess what? That comes back to fact finding, doesn't it? If we're out there pitching product, then we might put somebody into a program that's not fit for what they're looking to accomplish. However, if we understand what they want to accomplish, this thing is awesome. Okay? Unbelievable. Number one, 10% bonus. Up front day one. Helps me make up surrender charges. Helps me make up back-end sales fees on mutual funds that are B-class shares. Helps me make up on accounts where people took a beating in the market. I can do a lot with 10%. Helps me just completely wipe out CD liquidation fees and give them 5 years worth of growth that they would have gotten in the same CD, if not more. Okay? If we're taking that money and we're transitioning it to, taking money and transitioning it to American Equity, it's not costing us anything to do it. I'm almost always putting a rider with this guy. Okay? Rider that I use most often costs 0.85%. So I tell them, you know, with your 10% bonus, I'm basically buying you 12 years worth of your rider for free. Like the rider maybe don't want to pay the benefit. How's 12 years to get you started? I'm going to be alive in 12 years. Don't say that. Just trying to make sure you guys are paying attention.
So like the life insurance.
So we use that as to buy some life insurance. Okay? 10% upfront bonus. As far as indexing strategies, any of you guys been in the business long enough, you get these statements back. Sometimes you're really happy for your clients, other times you're like, man, I wish I hadn't sold that. Well, the ones that aren't performing well, they typically have a lot of options available for those choices, or are they pretty cut and dry? I think a lot of them are pretty cut and dry. Okay, so indexing strategies, there's 12 in this product. Okay, that's awesome. That's unbelievable. That means I get to look at any number of different indices, whether they're tracking blue chip companies like the S&P 500 does, or maybe they're tracking little teeny tiny companies like the Russell 2000 or somewhere in between like the NASDAQ. I can do all that fun stuff. I can also track bond indices with these, okay? They have a strategy in here that tracks the U.S. Treasury bonds. They also have a strategy in here that tracks high-end corporate bonds, okay? The Barclays Index. So, if I'm paying attention to my clients, if I'm paying attention to the market or paying attention to what our in-house financial advisor is saying, I can probably set people up pretty strongly to make a pretty decent return here, regardless of if we're using a rider or not, right? I got 12 choices. Pretty cool. Anybody know what happens to the bond market typically when the stock market falls?
See some.
It goes up. So where is our stock market right now?
Not good.
Our stock market's fantastic. What are you talking about?
Right, it's at the top.
It's the highest it's ever been.
I'll be all right.
It's through the roof, baby. Have another cup of coffee.
My pills. Where's
Okay.
my pills?
The stock market's at all-time highs, okay, save for a little bit of variation as to what that actual peak is, but we haven't dropped much. We're still around 17,000 on the Dow. We're just shy of 2,000 on the S&P, 1980 when I looked earlier today. Okay, big, big numbers in the stock market. What does that give me a lot of confidence is going to happen next? Probably not going to mean it's going to keep going up, right? I mean, safe bet. So you got, how many did you get?
I guess not. This is all that John gave me.
We'll make it enough. So if we think the stock market's going to fall and we're using equity index annuities as a means to help create returns for our clients, why not? Oh, dude.
Yeah, feeling on one side.
Quit! Please don't go away.
You know the sort button.
Alright, so let's try this. Make me one copy of this,
Alright. I'm guessing John.
backside this, and then I'll hold on to this. So make me two-sided here and I'll keep these.
Alright, how many?
Wait on me, door. Same number.
Alright.
30.
However many that is. So you're not going to get these yet. Give me one page of a 4-page publication. Whatever. I'll blame that on you.
South Carolina.
Alright, so anyway, so we're coming back to the index strategy. So, or even more specifically, Matt's question, why are we using it? Well, if I'm using equity index annuities, I want my clients to see returns because I want them to be happy when I come back, because I want referrals and I want more business. I want to make sure that I'm using a product that they're actually going to be pleased with. Which means if I can show them a way to create a return when the market is not giving it to anybody else, score, gold star. Guess who's getting the referral? Guess who's getting the next piece of business? You guys are. I am. Whoever's actually doing that, okay? So having an index annuity that actually has a bond strategy associated with it, in my opinion, is huge right now. Okay, interest rates are incredibly low, stock market's incredibly high, sets up very strongly for shifting in the opposite direction. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Inverse relationship makes you sound smart. You say that, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, the stock market and the bond market typically have an inverse relationship. Okay. What does that mean? It means one goes up, the other one goes down. Okay? Give you a little bit of verbiage here. Let's talk about the riders, okay? Lots of riders. Just income. 4% roll up. No cost. Sweet. Got anybody that's ever said they'd like to take income but they don't want to pay for a rider? I have. I don't think I want the cost on that, Dave. It might be nice to have income, but I'm not sure I need to pay for it. Okay, well how about a guaranteed 4% per year? It's not going to cost you a penny. Even if I got somebody that tells me they don't want a rider, I'm going to put that rider on. Why wouldn't I? It's free. You mean to tell me that you think everything that you spend money on right now is going to cost the exact same thing 10 years from now? Absolutely not. Not a chance. What's the average rate of inflation? Anybody give an estimate? 4%. 3%. What's going to help me keep up with the cost of inflation? What's going to keep me ahead of the cost of inflation? Makes sense. Things we got to think about. People retiring at 55, 60, 65 years old, life expectancy is 20, 30, 40 years down the road from those numbers. We got to be able to figure out how to fund that. Oh, I'm great right now, Dave. Okay, that's fine. What about 20 years from now, when I'm getting ready to retire? You still going to be great? Would you like to have some options? Okay? Pretty fantastic. And I don't know, I'm probably giving them to you out of order. We can do another one, just income. There's 6 of them. They're all on the disclosure there. But just income with a 6.5% roll up. Cost is 0.75%. So 0.75% gives me a 6.5% guarantee. Roll up on my rider value that I can use later as income. It's pretty outstanding, guys. Everybody in this room familiar with the rule of 72. I know you guys that have been in appointments have heard me say it. Those of you that have been around for a little while probably know it. Does anybody know what the rule of 72 is?
Divide the interest rate of the 72 and get how many years it's going to take to double.
If I take an interest rate
Double in 10 years.
and a period of time and multiply the two together and my answer equals 72, that's the interest rate I need to earn over that amount of time to double my money. Easiest example, 7.2% at 10 years. That will double your money. That's a mathematical certainty. Okay? So if I'm getting 6.5% 6.5. It's gonna take me right around 11 years to double my money, right? A little bit more. But just over 11 years. I like to say right around 11 years. Mr. Jones, you give me 11 years and a little bit, I guarantee your money will have doubled for you, and that you're gonna be looking at to start taking income from. How does it get any stronger than that? There's no guesswork, guys. That's the best thing, that when I sit down and talk to somebody and I take an income illustration, and this is not a guess. This is a mathematical certainty, a guarantee that's contractually written in black and white in between you and the insurance company. What's Doug McDermott's simplest definition of an annuity, right? It's a contract in between an insurance company and an annuitant guaranteeing X, Y, Z, right? It's a pretty strong guarantee. So let's say that we like that idea, but we want to make sure that we've done some long-term care planning as well. So I'm going to call this LIBR is the actual thing that they use, which is lifetime income benefit rider. Okay? And they call their long-term care thing well-being. We good now? Awesome. Thank you, sir. Start with that one. Take one down, pass it around. I think we're good, yes.
Okay.
You can wait till that one gets to the next table and I'll start you with this one so we don't get confused. So LIBR plus well-being benefits. So let's imagine that this one is at also a 6.5% roll-up. Cost is 0.85%. Okay? I'm going to sell this one 9 times out of 10. Okay? The 10 times out of 10, or that other 1 time out of 10, I'm probably using this guy. Okay? Because if somebody tells me they want this, if I'm not a good enough salesperson to get them to give me an extra 1/10 of a point each year to make sure that they're protected in the event that they need long-term care, I probably shouldn't be writing that contract anyway. Agreed?
Yeah.
You know what the well-being benefit does? The well-being benefit says whatever we've grown that income base or that rider base to be, whatever that could create for us as income on a monthly basis, if we can't perform 2 of our 6 ADLs without assistance, or we have a cognitive impairment, we're going to take that income payment and we're going to double it. And we're going to double it for up to as long as 5 years. So if I'm getting $1,000 a month off of my rider and I need long-term care, now I'm getting $2,000 a month off of my rider. It's purely maximizing the leverage that we can create for our clients by doing nothing more than charging them 0.85% per year. Are there any long-term care plans out there that are going to do that? Kind of doubt it.
So if somebody has some kind of problem, like Alzheimer's, that's the one we mainly want to put them on.
I'm putting everybody on this thing, man. 70% of the population
No,
over
you
age
didn't hear his
60.
question. Ask the question again.
If they have Alzheimer's, that's the one that we.
If they have Alzheimer's now.
If they have a power of attorney there, if they have Alzheimer's now and you're trying to
They said
write them
there's-
anything, it's no.
They're starting on, they're starting on medication. Like,
If they're still functioning and doing their own business, yes, you can do that. There's a 2-year waiting period on this thing, okay? You absolutely can. If it's considered to be a valid contract, okay? I don't necessarily know that I'd go strolling through the Alzheimer's ward at the nursing home looking for people to start signing contracts, but I think it will fly. Because all they're doing is leveraging the dollars that these people are already putting in there anyway. So the company's really not on the hook for much. They're taking that person's money, they're just maximizing its potential. See what I mean? Annuity companies are pretty smart. They're not going to put themselves overextended all of a sudden start paying for long-term care for everybody under the sun. But most people don't think about leveraging their own assets to help them take care of that. They just spin through them. Okay. That's pretty strong. I sold my parents that product, that version of that product. Okay. Give you guys some idea about how much I believe in what that concept can do. Okay. We good there? Any questions about that one? Because this is really answering Matt's question very specifically. This is why I'm selling and what I'm selling. Okay?
What's the minimum for that product?
really small. But again, if you're selling it really small and you're talking about this, let's be honest, it's not gonna do it. When I put in $5 grand and I'm looking for long-term care benefits, no, ain't gonna fly. Unless they're giving me an awful lot of time, okay? Minimum age on this, guys, is 50 though, okay? So make sure you're not selling it to super duper young people. This guy's at no cost. Just the income piece, no fee on that, and no minimum age. So I could write it for each and every one of you if you wanted. Alright. What else am I forgetting? Oh yeah, number 4.
So you said the minimum is 50 just for that rider, the long-term care part? So
Yeah.
If they're younger, you can do the income roll-up.
This one I can do at any age. These two, minimum 50. Income or death benefit, okay? And again, I think I've given all of you guys disclosures on these products before. If not, send me an email or come to my office. I'll print you a disclosure. I'm going to stop quoting you fees right now because these are the ones that jump out of my mind. The other ones I kind of lose track of. There's just a few of them out there. Hard to keep up with, okay? But we do have an income or death benefit option, okay? It'll grow at 4% per year for just that, either income or death benefit. So you got somebody, let's say you have somebody that's sick, they're not in great health, couldn't get life insurance, has a CD sitting on the sidelines for the grandkids. Why not throw them in here, get them 10% more than they've already got, and guarantee a 4% growth on the death benefit they're looking to leave behind? Why not use that as a life insurance replacement option? I'm not saying go replace people's life insurance, I'm saying if they can't get life insurance, this is a great alternative. Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that similar to some of the other products where they have to take it over a period of time, 5 years?
Yeah, they'll give them some options when death comes, but they're going to base it off of whatever that rider value is grown to.
Okay.
And all those other companies do very similar things. So. Okay. 5 and 6. They're going to give us. I got one that's at 7% per year, and then they do a very similar thing with the LIBR and well-being at 7% per year. Okay, so I'll just call it the LIBRW. So, why am I selling this product? Why does it fit in so many places? Because as long as those people aren't trying to take money tomorrow, I can do some fantastic things, and just understanding what it is they want to accomplish, I can go any number of different directions with this guy. Yeah, cool stuff, awesome stuff. I did about $3 million in this product last year alone. Kind of give you some idea as to how much I like pushing this thing. And this product has actually gotten better this year. The well-being benefit didn't exist last year. So, that's going to be number 1. Everything that you guys just received is the Barron's article. I think I only kept off the chunk talking about the variable annuities. So the one piece that actually says Barron's on it, that's the actual article format. You got the front and back page there. I don't really care what was on the back side there, but if you look at the level income in retirement, under the fixed index annuity with income guarantee, my favorite guy is number 1 on the list, right? So you guys want to be able to leave material behind if you're trying to set a go back. You want to get somebody to let you back in the house that has monies that they're wanting to talk further about. Do you think you could position it much better than leaving them an article that was printed by Barron's that's showing the product that we want to talk most about as listed as the number 1? I would keep some in my bag. Okay? If you want the whole thing, we can make copies of all that. If you just want that and you want to run your own copies on that, go for it. But I would keep some of those in the back, okay? Because unless there's a very different reason for me being out there, that's probably going to be my go-to. Okay? I think it speaks pretty highly of North American in that article as well, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't it? Yep, North American's right there on that list as well. So, 2 of the companies that we write the most of are on that list. Hopefully that lets us know we're doing the right thing.
Is number 5 pretty expensive, Dave?
It's more expensive. I want to say it's like like right at 1% or maybe 1.1%, and I didn't feel that the cost differentiation was worth the extra half a point.
I just want, because that's what this one illustrates, is at the 7, so
'Cause
people are
specific-
asking us about
Yeah,
it, be ready
because
for it.
specifically, this is my experience. Most of our clients, specifically if we're doing a replacement of another product, or they're looking for income within a year, or within a year or 2 or 3. In which case, that half a point isn't going to give me enough juice to warrant the extra cost. Okay? Why would I be paying attention to cost? Because something happens to them and they're not using the death benefit rider. The death benefit is equivalent to the remaining contract value. So if I'm charging more money on their rider, then I'm just shrinking that contract value faster. Okay? So I want to focus on my indexing strategies. I want to keep the cost and benefit ratio in balance. And I want to give them the rider that's going to give them the best bang for their buck for what they want to accomplish. Okay? But I got a lot of different avenues here. You guys have a lot of different avenues here. You guys realize that that product can do all that? No? Okay, good. Now you do. And the illustration software is incredibly easy, so, I mean, I'll pick on Randy. Even Randy knows how to run the illustration software, so. If you need help or you need illustrations, give me the age, the amount, and the timeline, and I'll give you an illustration and show you whatever you want to see. Whether it's death benefit, long-term care, income, whatever. Alright? Everybody good here? 16-year contract. Oh yeah, by the way, you have to wait 1 year to start income. You have to wait 2 years before that enhanced benefit would be payable. Okay? So, if somebody's, already on hospice, this isn't going to serve its purpose. Fair enough? Yep. You racing? Huh? Come on, Harvey. We're going to have to talk later. Okay. So what else have you guys run across? What do people want to see accomplished with their monies? We just covered death benefit, long-term care, and income. Any other things you hear more often than not? You guys haven't asked too many questions about annuities if you don't have at least one more.
Survivor benefit?
I'm going to go survivor benefit as being very similar to death benefit. And these can operate under spousal assumption. People can basically take it over as their own. More often than not, if that happens, I'm going to have them claim it, and I'm going to put it right back into another one and give another 10%. But, whatever. How about liquidity? Anybody talk about liquidity? I don't want to tie my money up for that long. What if I want to go back in 3 years and take it all back? You guys aren't hearing that again. You're not asking the questions because everybody says that. Either that or they say, I don't need it ever. Those are people I like a lot. Okay. The Equitrust Market 10 bonus. Commission's not as good, but we don't write product because of commission, do we? Write product because of the solution it can create for our clients? I sure hope. This is why we write this one. Liquidity. It has a return of premium feature on it. Okay? So, ROP. It's not an added cost or anything like that. It is very simply your return of premium. So, in effect, what the company's going to do is they're going to look whenever the client says they want their money. They're going to look at the amount of money that they put in. Obviously, they're going to look and see if they took any out over whatever period of time that was. And that'll be one number. The other number would be the amount they put in, plus bonus, plus interest, minus surrender charges. Okay? So just like every other annuity contract works. Whichever of those numbers is higher is what the client gets to walk with. So worst case scenario, they walk with their original investment. Okay? I actually have had a client buy into one of these and liquidate it 6 months later. It pissed me off because I got a chargeback, but it did exactly what she wanted. She didn't think she was going to need it. Oops, everything went wrong all at once. She went back in, she grabbed her 40 grand or whatever it was, and she was on her way. Okay? So I've actually seen it play out. It is possible. I just wrote a policy last week, actually for Greg and I, using this exact same product. Client we put in a few years back, the account's done pretty well. They put in 130 grand, it's upwards of 150 already. They no longer have the liquidity concern that they had then, so we shifted them in the income direction. Pull that money out, they're getting a nice return on the investment. We can make it up with the bonuses that we've got. We're outside of our 2-year window on suitability, so we're good there. Boom, move it. See you later. Okay? This guy's awesome for that kind of idea. Whoops. 6.5% roll up on their rider. 0.75% per year. So it looks very similar to American Equities rider. The big difference there is no such idea as well-being benefit, and they only have one rider. And they're going to make you wait 2 years before you can take income. Kelsey cows.
She might need a fence.
Huh?
But she might need a fence.
But she might need a fence.
Or a ditch or something.
Or a ditch.
So, return of premium. If all they're looking to do is put some money away and make sure it's available if they need it, and if they don't, they like tax deferred growth and avoidance of probate and all that jazz, great option. If they think they might want to take their money out, still would rather like to see the income concept long term, pretty strong rider too, 6.5. Okay, it's fantastic stuff. Questions?
So any withdrawal capabilities without completely doing return of premium?
Just like every other annuity, 10%. 10%. Am I putting you guys to sleep?
Now, if they do the rider and they still want to, the return of premium, is the return of premium minus the cost of the rider?
Yes. Any fees or any withdrawals, and a withdrawal for a rider fee is going to be looked at as just a withdrawal. So premium minus cost.
Okay.
Does that make sense to everybody?
What's the minimum on this one?
30K. Equitrust is funny. They got some relatively high minimum premiums. They're either 20K or 30K depending on their product.
Is there an age minimum on that one?
I want to say that they're 50 as well on the rider, not the product itself, but the rider. Companies are pretty touchy about their rider. They don't want to give guys like me the chance to roll up at 6.5% for 25 or 30 years. Take them to the cleaners.
So the 10 in that title means how many years it is. Not a, there is no bonus. It's a market 10 bonus because it's the amount of years.
I'm sorry, I skipped it.
There's a,
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Market 10 is the length of time of the surrender schedule if they decide not to enact that ROP. 6% bonus up front. I will let you guys know, as much as we like to talk about, there are A-rated carriers. Equitrust is not one of them. So don't please tell anybody that Equitrust is an A-rated carrier. They are not. They're a strong B, but they're not. Some clients care, some really don't give a rip. I just don't want you telling somebody a lie. I don't go offering that information up. That's typically one of those things I'll answer a question about, not necessarily say, hey, guess what? These guys aren't top notch, but they're good.
is the illusion to do this one, the return of premium, compared to the American Equity as far as when you...
Shorter surrender schedule, return of premium, don't give a rip about the well-being. I mean, there's any number of reasons. Again, it's about what your clients care about.
Yeah, the,
I think there are a lot better annuities out there than this one. If I'm looking for growth,
right.
if I'm looking for how much benefit can I really create with this same dollar, I think they're much better annuities than this one. This one fits that need that we don't have really anywhere else, and that's that return of premium feature.
Okay.
And if you find yourself up against a brick wall with somebody saying, I'm just not willing to tie my money up for that kind of time, this is your bailout plan right here. Guess what? Great, I've got one that you don't have to worry about that.
How far out do we get charged back on these? Because you write all these and then after 2 years.
2 years. Trust me, I just asked the other day.
Giddy up.
Wasn't gonna go cost myself money. That's not very smart.
So the return of premium is usually after like a 10-year.
We're Return of premium, they can do 60 days down the road if they want. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to buy an annuity and only keep it for 60 days, but that's the way that contract is written. A return of premium basically says, we're going to hold you harmless if you end up having to change your mind. We'll give you your money back. We're going to take our bonus back if we give you your money back. We're going to take back any whatever, but we give you your money back.
Would they, if they keep it a certain length of time, 5 years or more, do they prorate the bonus?
No. Like I said, they're going to look at two things, and two things only. Original investment, minus any money that they may have taken, or any charges if they use the rider. Or, original investment plus bonus plus interest minus charges minus surrender charges. So whichever of those two figures is higher is the number they will get. So it won't ever be any worse than their original investment, but has the potential of being better. Okay? If they only keep it a year, they're probably getting their original money back. 2 years, iffy, depending on what the market did. Keep it for 6 years, they're probably getting the surrender value back, not their original investment. God hopes that we did a good enough job that they make the money, and that's worth more than their original investment. You see what I mean? You got a declining surrender scale plus a growing accrued interest value. Sooner or later, those got to cross paths. Sooner or later, it'll be the benefit of the client. Sense? Make sense? Yeah? Yeah?
Yep.
I feel like I'm just talking to myself. Everybody's so quiet. Turns out, I'm alright with that. Okay, what next? Who else do we like? Speak louder so everybody can hear you.
That are maybe younger than 50, maybe they're like 40 something, so they still have a couple of years before they do retire. Is there something that you recommend to those people?
Sure.
What was the question?
For people who are maybe younger than 50, maybe they're like in their like 40s, like is there something for them? Because there are some people who are like married to someone that's like 40 something, even though they're like 65. So I was just wondering if there's something that's for those people.
And yes, there is.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. What time is it? I don't want to keep you guys forever. Oh boy. Alright, so for the under 50 crowd. North American Charter 14. Hey, what do you know? This product stacks up a lot like American Equity Bonus Gold with a couple of distinctions. Instead of being a 16-year contract, it's a 14-year contract. American Equity will pay that 10% bonus for any monies that you add in the first year. North American's going to pay 10% bonus for the first 7 years. So now we start thinking about people that maybe in their 40s, maybe they had a 401k with another company, maybe they're still adding money to retirement plans. So if I'm trying to build money for retirement, why wouldn't I want to boost every contribution I make to my IRA by another 10%? How about clients that have a reasonably high net worth, and maybe you've got a couple of different annuities, and you're looking, and they're not using their penalty-free withdrawals? Why wouldn't we set something like this up, and every year as their anniversary dates come and you meet with them and they say they don't need their penalty-free withdrawals, we pop it into North American and get them another 10%. Just taking advantage of the free money that the annuity carriers are giving. Guys, I do this all the time. It's fantastic. It's a no-brainer. It's only a transfer form. It's not even a new application. Piece of cake. Your clients love you because you're making them 10% on that chunk of money. Doesn't matter what the market's doing.
Does it re-trigger the 14-year surrender charge every time you add money to it?
No, sir. So, straight 14-year schedule, 10% bonus for the first 7 years. Income rider. Theirs is a little different, but very similar. They have a 5.5 for life. that is, I want to say it's 0.45%. You guys don't shoot me on this one if I'm wrong on my numbers here. Then they have a 6 1/4 for, no, I'm sorry, that's 6 3/4 for 10 years. I want to say that that is 0.95. Oh yeah? So 5.5% for life. So if I got a 40-year-old, I don't want to cost them a bunch of money, but I want to give them a guaranteed scenario for income and retirement. I get the 5.5 for life on there. It's going to keep rolling up every single year until they're ready to start taking income. For less than a half a point a year, it's pretty strong. Okay? You can do the math on the 72 thing. What does that work out to be? About 13 years? So find a 40-year-old, they're not going to retire for maybe 25, 30 years. Should be able to double their money twice. Not a bad deal. Yeah? This is the way my brain works, guys. If yours doesn't work that way, steal what's coming out of my mouth because people like hearing those things. You're going to double my money how much? You're going to do it how often? People like the concept of doubling money. Okay? Specifically without having to depend on any market to do it for us. Okay? You got somebody that really wants to juice it quick. We can go with that 6 3/4 at 10 years for 95 basis points. Okay, that's one of the stronger ones that's out there. 6 3/4. Great. Somebody that doesn't know when they want to take income that they like better than 5.5, we can give them 6 1/4 for 10 years with an option to reset for another 10 years at the end of that first 10 years. Okay. Does this make sense? So anybody that's going to take income any sooner than 10 years, you might as well go ahead and give them the 6 3/4. Max it out. If they think it's going to be longer than 10 years, you give them the option of number 1 or number 3. Okay. They also have a well-being option. I forget exactly what they call theirs, but let's call it well-being just not to confuse anything. And theirs is kind of cool because you don't have to use it. And you can use it with any one of those riders, and just going to add 10 basis points to it. And just like what I described to you with American Equity, they're going to do the exact same thing. They're going to double that income for you. Okay? There's a little bit.
It's like a 5-year waiting period?
Just read this, Kirk. I'm sorry. Let me read the
Seems like it's
disclosure.
longer.
Check in for me. I think it is still a 2-year. The difference there is their stipulations are stronger with what actually qualifies. I believe that theirs is more based around facility-based care. We'll need to reread that disclosure to really take a strong look at that. I'm always going to opt for American Equity first. Theirs is more flexible, but this is a great option. These guys are a little bit easier when it comes to replacements in American Equities too, from a suitability perspective. So if you guys have somebody that's only got a 2-year-old annuity that you're trying to get replaced for a North American or replaced for an American Equity, you're going to have an easier time getting it issued with North American than you will American Equity. American Equity suitability department is pretty stout. Gone to toe-to-toe with those guys a few times. So they're a good bailout plan if the American Equity idea doesn't work for you. Okay? But we can add it or we don't have to. Okay, so theoretically they have 6 rider options. Why are we talking so much about riders?
Because rates are terrible.
Interest rates are garbage and we're juiced on the stock market. So opportunity for people to make money, what do? We already got a market way up here. I can't really believe it's going to go that much higher. I've got interest rates way down here. I'm certainly not going to voluntarily pigeonhole myself to make no money. So I need a third alternative, or I need a better strategy. These riders are what are getting the job done right now, guys, where everything else is failing. These things rock. Okay? So, how do we figure out which rider to use? Holy cow. How do we get the information on the fact finder? We ask questions. How do we remember the information?
Right.
Holy cow. It's crazy. It's a fantastic concept. I really want you guys to do better fact finders. Even if you're doing them now, do them better. Make them more complete. If you're not doing them, start doing them. Okay? For managers, I'm going to really start hammering on this. Okay? I think we're really missing the boat here. I can make some assumptions right now that I think Congress is going to keep changing the rules on us when it comes to Affordable Care Act and Medicare Advantage. Shocking, I know, you guys are really surprised. If that's the case, we have to assume that that game is going to change every year. That opportunity is probably going to look different than it did the year before. So why not make sure that we're better at the things that don't change nearly as often, aren't subject to Congress's whims as to what they're going to decide our business should look like, and become really proficient at selling those things. That way, if something else gets taken out from underneath us, or whatever, we still got a strong game plan. I'm going to tell you guys, your best tool in the entire bag is your fact. So get really good with it. Bring me some strong fact finders. Bring me some statements. I'll tell you whether you need my help or not. Send you back on your own, or go with you. I love going back with you guys on this stuff. But if you don't need me, I'll tell you. That's all I can offer you. You asked for my top 3. Those are going to be the top 3 for those different types of concepts. There's more out there. The under 4, the under 50 crowd. There's some great ones with Allianz too. Allianz likes using the no-cost rider without any guaranteed roll-up. They just multiply whatever interest is earned by like 50% or 75% or whatever. So it just makes the interest that you earn bigger. So lots of different stuff out there. For those of you who haven't taken Annuity Basics yet, I'm very sorry. Anybody gone to this website? Everybody know the password? Go to that website. Use that password. Go in. Learn some stuff. This is Doug McDermott's site. This is his Annuities 101. I believe I know a fair amount about annuities. That guy has forgotten more than I know. He's the one that designed this website. This is his training site. He's heading up ASB's annuity division. I believe it's worth your time if you want to become a better annuity salesperson to go here, go through these programs, teach yourself some stuff. Run across information that doesn't make sense, come find me. I will help you understand it. There's lots of information, lots of resources out there, guys. I just don't think we're using them. So I'll start taking advantage of it. Got an extra 20, 30 minutes at the house in the morning. You get stood up on an appointment, whatever. Go check out one of his little modules. Learn something. Figure out the best thing to do in the next house you walk into.